My name is Kelly MacDonald. I may have been born with low vision, but did that stop me from living the life I wanted? No way! It barely slowed me down. Today, I'm a broadcaster, actor, sports fan, and all-around great guy. I'm also the host of my very own show, this show. I've made a bucket list of things I want to experience, people I want to meet, and places I want to see. So join me on my travels and take a look at things from my point of view. This is Blindsided with Kelly MacDonald. Welcome to Blindsided with Kelly MacDonald, where we're so good, we can make television with our eyes closed. Today in the show, I take a walk on the wild side and coming face to face with some exotic creatures. I pine for the simpler days of telephone technology, and we continue our public outreach with another edition of Ask a Blind Guy. But first, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a meeting hall filled with geeks in homemade Wolverine costumes. Yes, I'm talking about ComiCon, the annual celebration of all things pop culture. I'm joining the superhero fans, anime junkies, and comic book aficionados as we descend upon the Metro Toronto Convention Center for this festival of fandom. Hey, it's the only place you can wear a cape in public. Up, up, up and away! Let's go day tripping. I've always been a comic book fan. Now, not like the die-hard fans that come here to Comic-Con. So I'm here with my friend and self-proclaimed geek, Caitlin.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Caitlin. You're gonna be my eyes for the day. And we're gonna go around and find out what makes a super fan here.
Awesome.
What makes you a fan?
I just love coming to see everyone come together to celebrate so many different fandoms. Is there anything special you're looking to find today?
Actually, yes. I'd like to find from the original Star Trek one of those communicators.
I'm sure we won't be disappointed. You ready to get going?
I am.
Awesome, let's do this.
So who comes to Comic-Con?
Honestly, it doesn't matter if you're 2 or 80. If you're a fan of something, you're here today.
Wow. Well, I'm a fan of lots of somethings. We'll have fun.
Excellent.
We make our way down the escalator and fight our way through the crowds to the main Comic-Con exhibit hall. Finally inside, there's so many people.
I know, I'm surprised we made it through the door.
So what do you see?
There's wall-to-wall vendors and people right now. Everyone's here for everything.
And where do you think we should start?
Well, in the spirit of Comic-Con, let's check out those comics behind us.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Cal, it's a dream come true.
Oh.
Boxes and boxes full of individual issues.
Oh, these are all wrapped in plastic.
I know, you can feel the history through them. You can't touch it, that's like part of the magic.
Anything there interest you?
How much time do we have? So I just showed you a bunch of comics that were, $5 a comic, nothing special there. But this is why I come to Comic-Con. This is a 1960s original Amazing Spider-Man, still in hardcover case. It's $1,200.
$1,200? And someone will actually pay for that?
If I had the cash on me right now, I'd pay for that.
Well, get in your wallet.
You don't even know how tempting that is.
Comic-Con gives people a great excuse to dress up like their favorite character. Some people throw something together last minute, but some, like our friend Vanya, go all out.
And I'm getting sort of like an elf vibe from you here, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before. So tell me a little bit about this.
My character's name is Elway. I'm from the Silmarillion, which is the histories of Middle-earth before the Lord of the Rings films. So I'm like 10,000 years prior to Legolas. I am wearing a large silver horned headdress. It's made of a thermoplastic, but made to look like silver metal deer antlers, as well as a necklace made out of the same material, made to look silver with glass beads and LEDs so that it glows.
Ooh.
So you put this all together yourself?
I did, yes. I designed and hand-sewed everything.
Wow, and how long did that take you?
I worked on it slowly over a couple of months. Altogether, probably about 60 hours of labor.
Oh, man.
I do this as my full-time job. I do commissions and make costumes for others.
A lot of business?
It's pretty solid. Comic-Cons keep getting more and more popular, so as long as everyone keeps going, I'll keep getting business.
Man, I'm learning a lot today.
I'm getting really into this because I've always wanted to get a costume made, but I've never known who I could get one made from, so we should talk.
Once we get Vanya's business card, we're off again. Caitlin leads me to a table of action figures. I feel like a kid again.
Hey, Kelly, check it out. It's a table of Marvel figurines.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys enjoying yourself today?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Josh.
Josh, Kelly.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Caitlin.
Pleasure.
Who do you want to see?
Well, there's a great Sentinel in there.
All right, let's take that one up.
I'm going to ask you what he looks like, because I'm kind of curious. I know I can touch him, but what color is he?
Figure a 14-inch metal body robot. Okay, so this would have been the X-Men War Room figure.
Wow.
Kind of like a purplish gray metallic tone, 14 inches tall.
That is great. And everything moves.
Yeah, everything's posable. You'd have to open up about 8 to 10 figures to actually build this.
Wow.
Right? So they actually call it Marvel Legend Build-A-Figure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really cool stuff.
So you'd buy and build at home?
To collect them in a whole, take a long time. You gotta find each piece, right?
Yeah.
So you can never really go into one sitting and find everything at once.
Oh,
so you gotta
that's-
search the stores, search shows like this.
But that's the passion behind it,
It
right?
is, definitely,
And the fun of it. Action figures are great, but I have a goal. My Star Trek communicator. We stop at a vending booth to see what we can find.
Hey, I'm wondering if you can help us out. Sure, what's up?
I'm looking for a original Star Trek communicator, flip style. Do you have any?
Sorry, I don't have any. They're really hard to find.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about that again.
Appreciate it. No problem.
Guess we'll have to keep looking.
We don't make it very far. Almost right away, we bump into 4 people in Star Trek costumes. Maybe they can help me out. Hey, guys.
Live long and prosper.
Guys, what do you address each individually as?
Different generations of Star Trek. So we've got Next Generation, we've got Original, we've got the latest movies, and I'm like Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Wow, that's amazing.
What's your favorite part about coming out?
Dressing up.
Dressing up.
This is fun. Yes.
Totally
I dress up like this normally and people kind of look at me weird. But here they actually say hi and they take pictures. So
So you guys have got great costumes. So for me, I just need a communicator.
I have one. I got a lot of the original stuff, but I don't bring it out because it's old and delicate.
So could I find one here, you think?
The old ones are hard to find. The old communicators, the original ones are really hard to find.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll keep looking.
Nice to meet you.
It looks like the communicator might be harder to find than we thought. We move along to continue our search, but get sidetracked by a vendor selling actual swords. We're now with...
Patty Harrison.
And Patty, you've got an interesting display of weaponry.
I do. All my stuff is all fully licensed. Certificate of authenticity, so it's really good quality, nice pieces. This sword here is from the TV show Vikings.
May I touch it?
You certainly may. This is Ragnar's sword. So it's got all the jewels on the handle also. It's got the engraving down the blade from the movie.
Oh yeah, Kelly, check that out. You can feel it.
You can feel the actual
You can actually
engraving.
feel the
That's
actual
great.
engraving.
I like the handle, but the weight is incredible.
Yeah. This one's from the movie Conan the Barbarian. This is the Atlantean sword. If you put your hand up at the top part of it up here, you can feel the engraving down the middle. That's the wrap on it, and that's the engraving.
Would these be identical to what we see actually in the movies?
Yes. The most popular sword, I would say, is the stuff from the Lord of the Rings.
What kind of cost, roughly?
They probably range around $400 to $500.
This con is gonna bankrupt me.
1,200, 500. Man, you are gonna go broke.
Stack it up.
As much as I would love that Conan the Barbarian sword, I've got to save my money for that communicator. Speaking of,
All right, they gotta have something here.
hi,
What can I help you guys with?
do you have any original Star Trek communicators, the flip version?
No, I wish we did, but unfortunately, it's really a rare find.
It's becoming very evident, thanks. Caitlin and I have been hunting all day, and I don't think I'm going to find what I'm looking for. But still, my first ComiCon was a hit.
Well, Kelly, I'm sorry I couldn't find you that Star Trek communicator.
It would have been nice. Now I'm going to go home empty-handed.
Well, we can at least get you a Star Trek t-shirt. How's that sound?
That's a good compromise. Did you enjoy yourself?
I had a great time, did you?
I did. I loved it. So would you come again, and next time would you dress up?
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna have to come here every year, but I'm gonna give that costume designer a call first.
Let's go look for the t-shirts.
All right.
And now for joking aside with the out-of-sight players.
Jules? Come on, let's go. We're gonna be late.
I hate being blind sometimes.
Why? What's going on?
I can't find my house keys. I've looked everywhere.
These keys?
I can't tell if they're my keys just from the jingling.
Well, they were in your front door.
Ugh, the front door. Of course, the front door. No. My wallet wasn't in the door too, was it?
No.
No.
Still ahead on the show, what's black and white and gives me a serious case of the willies? I'm facing my fear of all things four-legged and furry after the break. Welcome back to Blindsided with Kelly MacDonald. Our team of dedicated researchers have scoured the web for the most important headlines on this week's Inside Scoop. This is your Inside Scoop. The American National Federation of the Blind are giving out free white canes to any blind individual who wants one. Applicants simply have to complete an online application, and a white fiberglass cane will be mailed to them. This is great news for America's blind citizens, as well as impoverished pimps. A mouse has been killed by a 150-year-old trap in a museum in the UK. The mouse apparently snuck into the Museum of Rural Life and chose for its home an antique mouse trap that the museum had on display. Museum officials aren't sure they'll remove the mouse or if they'll make it a permanent fixture in the exhibit. Jeez, as if we need another reason to go to the Museum of Rural Life. A dead mouse. Awesome. A celebrity photographer in Paris has apparently sold a photograph of a potato for $1.08 million. The photograph, which portrays a dirt-covered organic potato against a black background, was purchased by a European businessman after he saw it hanging on the wall at the photographer's house. Experts agree with the appraisal, citing, "It's the potato's beguiling eyes." That's your inside scoop for this week. I've always been nervous around animals. It's not that I don't like them, it's just that when the little critters are around, I get anxious because I can't tell where they are or what they're up to. But today, I'm crossing my fear off my bucket list. I'm becoming an animal handler for the day at a local zoo and coming face to face with some of their most exotic creatures. Let's check something off my bucket list. I'm in a petting zoo to work on my fear of animals, and zookeeper Madison Thompson is going to help me through the day. So Madison, how are you gonna help me get over some of this fear?
Well, just like any other fear, you have to be around it. So to get you over it, we're gonna get you interacting with these animals, handling them, feeding them, and even cleaning up after them.
Cleaning up after them.
Well, Kelly, animals are a lot of responsibility. That's just something that comes along with it. And if you want the full experience today, you're gonna have to do the dirty work.
Okay, where do we start?
Well, I'm gonna start you off with an animal most people tend to avoid. However, as long as you're relaxed and you're comfortable, they will be too, so there's nothing to worry about.
All right.
So I'm gonna go get our first animal. You sit tight, and I'll be back with them.
Comfortable, relaxed, an animal most people don't go near. Okay, Kelly, get over it. They're just little animals. I'm ready.
So, here's your first animal.
Ooh, hi. What do I do? I'm holding him, he's on me.
There you go, just hold him nice
cool
and close
tail.
to you. He'll be most comfortable
Hi,
when
buddy.
you're holding him.
He feels like a cat, like a kitten almost. Like, are you a cat?
He is a skunk.
Oh, here, take your skunk back.
No, see, you were comfortable with him before. He was furry, he was friendly, and he's just the same as he was before you found out he was a skunk.
Forgive my rudeness, but I'm gonna keep his back end pointing at you.
You actually don't need to worry about that. As long as you're relaxed and comfortable, he will be too.
What's your name?
Well, this one you're holding, this is Chris, and I have Corey over here, his brother.
Oh, you can keep Corey. One's enough for me. I notice he's got a little bit of a smell, but not like what I smell in skunk spray.
There's no danger of him spraying you today, so you're fine.
Awesome. He ain't too bad. Hey, Chris. You're not too bad, hanging out with Kelly.
All right, so you seem pretty comfortable with the skunk, so I'm gonna take them back, and we're gonna move on to our next animal.
Okay,
Thank you. I'll be right back.
So I managed to keep my cool with the skunks, but what does Madison have planned now?
Alrighty, Kelly, so this is where we're gonna meet our next animal.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know it's a little bit bigger than the skunks, but still pretty small, so you'll be okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go grab them.
All right. A little bigger.
So, here
Here
you
we
are.
are. I feel licking. I feel jumping. Hello. Hello. Oh, yeah, he's a little bit big. He's climbing up onto the lap almost. Now, who's this guy?
Mario and Luigi. So these are actually New Guinea singing dogs.
Hi, Luigi.
More people tend to think these guys are really common just because they look so much like your dog. However, there's actually only 500 of these dogs left in the world.
They pull hard, and they're just little. They're quiet. I like that. While Madison and I chat, Luigi squirms out of his harness.
I gotta grab the puppy.
He got away on me. Well, I'm wondering why this had quite a bit of slack. Luigi runs over to a group of alpacas. I can hear Madison and her coworkers trying to catch up to him. That's one devious dingo.
All right, well, that was a little tiring and exciting.
What happened?
So from time to time, they tend to slip out of their harness. They're a little bit more like a cat and a bit more flexible to get out of things. Believe it or not, this is not the first time this has happened with them, but thankfully they're hand raised, so they're not too hard to catch up again.
That's one reason I don't have pets. I was holding on, and all of a sudden the leash went really slack. I thought, oh, he's really behaving. Yeah, he behaved all right. So what's next?
Well, like we just saw, that was playtime, that was a great time, that was a lot of fun, but it's not always about that. You gotta look after these animals. So next we're gonna go and we're gonna go feed some animals.
Will these guys get away too?
Hopefully not.
All right, I'll get my cane.
All right, Kelly, so here we are at our next enclosure, and we're actually going to go inside their enclosure for this. So I'm gonna open the gate, and you can head on in there.
What's in here, and how many?
So we're actually in here with ring-tailed lemurs. They're relatively the same size as the skunks that we saw earlier, except they have big long tails with black rings going around them that they use for balance. And they have hands similar to humans, where they have fingernails, so they're gonna use that to take food out of your hand.
Okay, they're
If you
awfully
wanna
quiet.
walk right over here where they're closer, I'll give you some food if you open your hand.
All right, I'll have to put it in my left hand. Do I keep my hand? Oh, hello! He jumped right on my left arm. Hello.
There you go.
Oh, he left too.
Yep, you can offer them the
look,
food.
it's like his hand is there. Hi there. It feels like a hand.
He's taking it, and the other one right now is eating straight out of your hand. So they're sitting on their bars where they sit. They have kind of sort of a jungle gym built in here where they can play and they can swing around. So that's what they're sitting on right now. There's two right here.
Oh,
You
there's two
can
behind
see
me. Is
these
that what
guys.
One here. Hi, buddy. They seem to
They're
take their
appreciating
turn too. Like the one grabbed my sleeve and pulled my arm nice and close.
That's the strange thing that people find with a lot of primates is that they use their hands very similar to humans because they have that opposable thumb. They're really cool animals, actually.
Now that the lemurs have enjoyed their delicious lunch, Madison introduces me to some camels on the way to my next job.
Now that we're closer to the camels, would you like to pet them?
No. Actually, I can smell them, and I think that's close enough. From one smell to another, Madison leads me into a barn. I think I have to clean out a stall.
So here's your broom, and we're gonna sweep this into a pile into the center of the floor.
What is all this? I feel what's crunchy, soft, gooey. It's not poo.
Well,
Is it?
it's kind of mixed in there, but it's with the hay and the shavings, so we gotta get rid of it.
All right, into the middle of the space here.
Yep,
All right. And what's that in the background? Who's complaining over there?
that's actually the water buffalo.
There's always a critic in the crowd.
Can't get away from them.
No.
All right, well, this is looking like quite the good pile, so I think we'll wrap it up.
Well, I've done just about every job here at the zoo. But before I go, Madison has someone very special for me to meet.
All right, Kel, so you're finally meeting one of our zoo's biggest celebrities. This is Jack the kangaroo, and he's been in multiple feature films. So, finally in the presence of a celebrity here, so you can give him a pat.
He's down here at your feet. Hello, Jack.
He might seem small right now from his height, but when he stands up, he's actually around 6 feet tall.
Wow. And he doesn't seem to mind being touched.
Oh, no. He's an old guy. He's around 14 years
Ooh,
old,
he's
and he's
sniffing
been
me.
doing
Look
this
at that.
forever.
He's checking. Are you seeing what I've got? Who I'm about? Yeah, he's sniffing my nose. It's almost like he has felt on him. That's what his fur feels like. Real nice to meet you, Jack.
Madison, this is cool.
Getting over your fear of animals was on your bucket list, so is that finally crossed off?
I'd say semi-crossed. I came, I tried, but I'm not ready to run out and get a pet.
Well, at least you know.
Madison, thank you. It's been fun.
Honestly, it's been a great time having you here.
Thanks, Jack.
Coming up on the show, one of our viewers tells us about learning the art of the airwaves. And I take your questions in Ask a Blind Guy. We're back in a flash. Welcome back to Blindsided with Kelly McDonald. Time to climb onto my soapbox. Remember the phone booth? Yes, of course, it's a place for a superhero to change and a certain doctor to time travel, but you could also make a phone call. In their heyday, you could find one in almost every block. They were great landmarks for me. They were big enough for my cane to locate, but they were more than that, like a reliable old friend. I used them to phone home. I could trust the connection. They were a lifeline to me. In drifting snow, it was a safety beacon, easy to locate. Late at night, I could call for help if I needed it. And if you were lucky, find a free quarter in the change return slot. But now they've almost all but disappeared. But I've learned to adjust. Like almost everyone else, I carry a version of that safety beacon around with me. It's just a lot smaller. And that's just the way I see it. In this episode of It's a Service Dog's Life, service dog Olivia and her master visit the park.
Is that your friend Bailey down there? Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Mrs. Thompson.
She can't speak dog, Bailey.
I know. Hey, Olivia, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Does your human have one of those big white sticks?
Her cane?
I guess.
Yes, she owns a cane.
Why do they have those things?
It helped her get around before she got me.
Does she ever throw it?
No.
Does she ever bury it in the yard?
No.
Does she ever put it in her mouth and fight you for it?
No, Bailey, it's a tool.
Seems like a waste of a good stick.
Now it's time for my new friend Peter to ask a blind guy.
Kelly, I have a question for you. Of all the senses you have left, which is the one you rely on the most?
Fantastic question. My ears. I mean, everything else is important, but my ears keep me safe, keep me aware of what's going on around me so I can stay safe, and they tell me a lot of things. I always think, what would it be like if I lost my sense of hearing? And I put that at the top of my better not happen list. Good question. Thanks, man.
Interesting. Thanks.
It's time for the selfie challenge. Let's close the show today with another viewer who wrote to us for our selfie challenge. This is a picture of Melanie Rukavina at the Voices for Ability Broadcast Training Center in Toronto. The center helps people with disabilities learn the basics of radio production. Melanie says she hopes that the training leads to volunteer work in the future. And it's great to learn how to use the internet for things other than Facebook. Wait, there are things other than Facebook on the internet? If you've got a story like Melanie's, write to us and share it. Tweet a photo or short video to @AMIKellyMac or post it on the Accessible Media Inc. Facebook page. And we could feature you on the next episode of Blindsided. That wraps up this episode, but we'll be back next week. And working hard for the big man, executive producers Nat Abraham, Ira Levy, Michael McGuigan, Peter Williamson, and Chantel Jackson. Produced and directed by James Murdoch. Story producer, Amy Blythe. Director of Photography, Swab Hoopa. Editor, Jana Jeffrey. DV consultant, Ron Rickford. Joking Aside, performed by the Out of Sight Players. Produced in association with Accessible Media Inc. Produced and distributed by Breakthrough Entertainment.
An AMI original production.